Hello everyone and welcome back to Carvenus 14. Today we are going to be looking right into Shenhe's iridescent eyes and asking ourselves the important question. What spear or polearm is better on physical DPS Shenhe? Dragonspine spear or Crescent Pike? Well, luckily for everyone, I've already got both of the weapons up to level 90 and I may have accidentally put a refinement rank into the Dragonspine spear, but we'll ignore that. So yeah, today I actually did say that I wanted to do a weapons test between the Crescent Pike as well as the Dragonspine spear. If you guys saw my physical DPS Shenhe build guide video, then you guys will remember that. So yeah, we're going to be doing that video today, and we're going to be testing it out on our favorite samurai, Masanori, who is literally down the road from here. I always seem to miss him though. So yeah. Anyone ever wondered what Shenhe's actually looking at in that photo? I haven't. So yeah, anyway, let's get into the video. So basically, I've got both of the weapons. I do have the Crescent Pike currently equipped. We're going to be testing that first. Now, before we do go into the actual testing, let's do the actual on-paper comparison. So the Crescent Pike has 565, which is the highest base attack any 4-star weapon has, I believe. 34.5 physical damage bonus, which is actually a really nice amount as well. And the passive at refinement rank 1 is, after picking up an elemental orb / particle, your normal and charged attacks will deal additional damage equal to 20% of your attack for 5 seconds. Now, this is very, very easy to actually proc the passive. It's really easy. All you need is someone that can just generate a load of particles. Now, for the cryo element, that could be Kaya. Rosaria can regenerate a load of particles as well. I believe Diona can as well. And then for Hydro, you've got Jingqi. For Pyro, you've got Bennett. Yeah, basically you've got characters that can regenerate a load of energy for you, and their skills are on a very low cooldown as well. So what I'm going to be doing with this weapon is I'm going to use Kaya's elemental skill to not only boost my crit rate for the cryo resonance, but also grab elemental particles as well, because in a real case scenario, you're with the best way you want to be testing this weapon is you're probably going to be making as many elemental reactions as possible to pick up all the orbs. So in a real case scenario, you're constantly going to be picking up orbs. So that's what we're going to be doing with this weapons test. Now, also, just to let you know, this passive actually acts as a separate damage number. So what that means is when you're using the Crescent Pike, instead of adding the damage onto your normal and charge attacks, it actually acts as a separate damage multiplier, basically. So instead of looking at one number with just, instead of just looking at one number, basically there'll be two separate numbers that will be appearing on the screen, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's basically how the passive of this works. Now, as for the Dragonspine spear, the base attack is 454, which is the lowest out of all of the 4-star weapons. However, the physical damage bonus is 69%, very lovely. Now, believe it or not, the physical damage bonus is actually double the physical damage bonus of the Crescent Pike. So yeah, there's that. Then, as for the refinement passive, the passive, basically I got it refinement rank 2 because, I don't know, and I'll read it at refinement rank 1 though, so I remember the numbers, I believe. So, hitting an opponent with normal and charge attacks has a 60% chance of forming and dropping an Everfrost icicle above them, dealing AoE attack damage equal to 80% of attack. Opponents affected by cryo are instead dealt damage equal to 200% of attack, and it can only occur once every 10 seconds. So basically, in order to break this passive down, there is a 60% chance at refinement rank 1 to drop an icicle that will deal AoE damage. Now, this damage, just to let you know, is not cryo, it's physical. Yes, an icicle that deals physical damage. I know, it's built different. It's just built different. And honestly, that was the main reason why this weapon wasn't really as good as a lot of people thought it to be, because we all thought that the icicle would deal cryo damage, so we'd automatically get the, the 200% increased attack instead of 80%. But annoyingly, the icicle deals physical damage, so yeah. Now, It's been a long time since I've used this weapon, so unfortunately, I don't actually know if the icicle can crit itself. If it can crit, then it should be able to, you know, slightly compete with the Crescent Pike, slightly. But if it can't crit, then honestly, I don't think it'll be as good as the Crescent Pike. And there is also another big caveat. Well, two big caveats to this. Number one, the icicle is only on a percentage chance, so there's a very, you know, there's a chance that you could not get the icicle drop. And number two, the cooldown for this passive is 10 seconds, which is a really long time. So yeah, honestly, when the passive is basically down or not going to activate, you just got the 69% physical damage bonus as well as the base attack. But anyway, let's start off with the Crescent Pike. Now, we'll take a look at my stats. So yeah, my crit damage is 151 to 200 compared to my 217 originally, but that's the Staff of Homer, so we'll ignore that. However, the physical damage bonus has gone up to 142.8 because originally I had 108.3, but now with the Crescent Pike physical damage bonus, it's gone up to 142. So yeah, as for my attack, it's also gone down from 2,339 to 2,073, but that's only because I've equipped a 4-star weapon, so it makes sense basically. So yeah. Now, let's head over to our favorite friend, Masanori. I do have it equipped, yes. Yes, I do, okay. Now, Masanori is this way. I keep going the wrong way whenever I see this guy, so yeah. Right, now, as for how the test is going to go, like I said, I'm literally just going to proc the Cryo Resonance with Kaya, as well as the for the elemental particles for the Crescent Pike as well. And as you can see by my health bar, I have no food buffs. I'm not going to use Zhongli's shield, which means I won't be able to use the Geo Resonance either, so I won't have increased damage dealt, because the Geo Resonance only activates when you have a shield on you. So yeah, and Zhongli's shield, as you all know, decreased physical and elemental resistance. So we're not going to be doing anything with his shield, and we're not going to be buffing our own attacks with Shenhe's, with Yunjin's, what's it called? Ultimate. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Right.
Let me through.
So you guys should be able to see two. Yeah, there we go. You guys can see two numbers. No, it looks like the separate number is around 1,389. Now we'll buff ourselves. So we're doing a decent amount of damage, around 5,000 on the medium attacks, and then 3,500 on the light attack. And then the last attack is dealing around 8,000. As for the separate number, that was around 1,389. So our normal attacks, for the light attacks, that was around 3,300 if I remember correctly. For the light attacks, that was around what is it called? That was around for the medium attacks, that was around 5,000, and then for the final attacks, 8,000 to 9,000. So still really good damage. As for the separate multiplier with the crit damage, as for the separate Crescent Pike damage, that was doing around 1,300. I think I even saw 2,000 at one point, but that may have been because I buffed, you know, my normal attack damage with my elemental skill passive. So yeah. I think that's what it might have been. Now, we'll go and do the next test, which is with the Dragonspine Spear. Now, how well do you guys think the Dragonspine Spear is going to do against, you know, the Crescent Pike? So we'll just go ahead and equip that. Now, we'll do another stats comparison. So now, as you can see, my base attack is even lower with the Dragonspine Spear, 1,863 compared to 2,073. So yeah. Now, as for the well, everything else should stay the same. However, our physical damage bonus, yeah, will shoot up because we literally have double the physical damage bonus of the Crescent Pike. So this definitely makes sense. Now, 177.3 physical damage. Whether it's actually any good or not, we will have to see. So, let's head back to Masanori and compare our results. I am gonna take a wild guess, and I think the Crescent Pike might do better, just because it's such a ridiculously powerful weapon. But let's see how close the Dragonspine Spear can get to it. Now, I'm going to be constantly affecting this guy with Cryo just to get the passive off, because in a real case scenario, if you are going to be using Shenhe, you probably will be able to get, you know, the Cryo application off most of the time. So I'm not even going to consider the first half of the passive, where if they're not affected by Cryo. So, yeah. Right, you guys saw there, that was the icicle damage. That was the icicle damage, around 12,000. As for the actual normal attacks for this weapon, and again, 1,700 there from the icicle. Oh, I'm attacking. Now, let's buff our normal attack. 1,700 again. That was 9,000, the final attack.
My will embodied.
5,000, 7,000 again.
Transfiguration.
Very, very difficult to say, to be honest. I mean, 9,000. Honestly, this is actually quite close. It's a lot closer than I actually thought. However, we do need to take two things into account. Now that all our testing is done, I know it wasn't really the most efficient way to do the testing, but unfortunately, I don't really have any other method of doing the testing properly. Like, I can't really edit these videos because I don't have the facilities, so I do apologize for that. However, now that we've done everything with the testing and stuff, let us do a bit of a damage comparison. Now, again, one thing we do need to take into account, my Dragonspine Spear is at Refinement Rank 2. So, if we were to do this test again, but at Refinement Rank 1, then honestly, I think that it would have been a lot closer. Now, it did look like the Dragonspine Spear there had, you know, had a, did have a damage advantage, but honestly, let's be honest, the damage boost there was actually very minimal if you think about it, because there are two things to consider. Well, two things. There's one thing to consider here. Number one, the passive for Crescent Pike is going to be up basically all the time. If you know how to play your cards right, you will effectively have this buff up all of the time. Now, it does look like the icicle can crit. That's what the 17,000 icicle damage number was. So, yeah, now, however, the passive for this is only going to be up once every 10 seconds, and then, of course, there's a chance that you may not even get the icicle drop. So, yeah, there is that. And, of course, there could be a moment where you don't actually affect the opponent with Cryo, so there's an instance like that, right? As for the Crescent Pike is, honestly, I think still the better choice to go for, because, number one, it gives you a lot of base attack, right? Number two, you still get a decent amount of physical damage bonus. Sure, it's not 69%, but honestly, base attack is actually quite underrated, because your base attack is what determines the rest of your attack percent multiplier. So if you didn't know, the way that your artifact stats, like attack percent and flat attack work, is they will be based off of your base attack. So the more base attack you have, the more your attack multipliers will actually do. So if you have, let's say 6% attack, right, multiplier, that will then check your base attack and then add the 36.6% of, 36.6% of your base attack, and then it will take that number and add it onto your original base attack to increase your total attack, if that makes sense. So it acts as a multiplier, and the higher your base attack is, the higher the attack percent multipliers will actually, the more they'll actually do. So base attack is actually quite important. Number two, the Crescent Pike's passive is very, very easy to keep up. It's ridiculously easy to keep up, right? So, yeah, there's that. Now, if you're like, if you're unlike, if you don't, oh, sorry, let me rephrase this. So if you don't have another cryo character apart from Shenhe, and you're using Shenhe as a physical DPS, honestly, I don't think the Dragonspine Spear is worth, because Shenhe's elemental skill is on a 10/15 second cooldown, and if you are using her as a DPS, you're going to be using the hold variation of the skill a lot more, which means that your elemental skill cooldown will be on 15 seconds compared to, the normal 10 seconds, which means you may not be able to keep the cryo application up all of the time. So it can be inconsistent in that regard, right? And obviously the base attack is really, really low. Now, of course, the damage numbers may look like, you know, the Dragonspine Spear did like on par level with the Crescent Pike, but let's not forget that my Dragonspine Spear was at Refinement Rank 2 compared to the Crescent Pike's Refinement Rank 1. So, if I was to say which weapon you guys should go for if you want a physical DPS Shenhe, I would definitely still recommend the Crescent Pike, just because number one, it's been broken from the very beginning. Number two, the passive is ridiculously easy to keep up, right, if you play your cards right. And even if you play your cards wrong, you'll still be able to get elemental particles anyway, even through physical damage, as you guys could have seen in the clip that I just did. So it's really, really easy to keep up. The base attack is really high, so your attack percent multipliers will actually be quite high as well. So, yeah, and overall, I was going to say it's a very nice looking weapon. I mean, it grows on you. It definitely grows on you. And it's also blue. It's also blue, so it matches Shenhe's cloak. And cloak? What is that? I don't know. Her things. I don't know what they're called. It's blue, but the Dragonspine Spear also matches her, so I don't know, guys. Which one matches her better? You guys put it down in the comments below. But yeah, at the end of the day, TLDR, Crescent Pike, in my opinion, is just better because it's really easy to keep. It's really easy to manage, basically. So yeah, that's all for the video, guys. Again, I do apologize if the you know, if there wasn't really a side-by-side comparison, but like I said, I don't have the facilities to do that. So, yeah, as you can probably tell from the quality of my videos, you know, I just don't have the facilities to do that. So, yeah, anyway, guys, I have been Carvenus14, and still am, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Now, what is the next video I have planned? I do have a video planned. Now, there is a video that I want to do, and it's exploring the DPS potential. Well, not exploring the DPS potential, but which form of DPS is better on Shenhe? Cryo or physical? There are two ways you can build Shenhe as a DPS. That's cryo and physical. Which one is better? Now, it's not going to be like an actual in-game build. It's going to be like a thing where we analyze on paper. So I plan on making like a PowerPoint slideshow just explaining what the advantages and disadvantages of each of them could be. So if you guys want to see which Shenhe is better, or maybe even just more fun to play, then do subscribe, because that video hopefully should come out this week. Now, I don't want to extend it till like the weekend, so hopefully it comes out before the weekend. But yeah, that's basically it from me, guys. I have been Carvenus14, Shenhe has been Shenhe, and we will see you all in the very next video. Goodbye.